care about in love, but wait. Maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.
Hi. Oh no, I forgot about my camera. Hi, beautiful people. If you're watching me on the replay, thank you for watching me. I appreciate you guys for watching me. My name is Celeste. I'm a therapist from Boston. Give me one. I just want to make sure my mic is right. All right. I think it's okay. You guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. My name is Celeste. I'm a therapist from Boston. I come on, I talk to people that are doing things to empower other people by sharing their story. And so I've been actually podcasting. So this is what my podcast looks like. This is actually a podcast episode. And I've been podcasting since 2018. And I decided I was going to come on video. Hey, Jamar, you can hear me, right? I decided I was going to come on video when the pandemic started. I was like, let me come on video and just bring my podcast on a video platform. And so that's what I decided to do. And it's been amazing. Hey, Todd. So it's been really good. Okay, good. You can hear me. So it's been really good. So I'm excited about that. And then I have amazing people that come on and they help me create Celeste the Therapist podcast, which is awesome. Loud and clear. Okay, good. That makes me happy. So I'm going to bring on my special guest, but before I bring her on, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things that I've done. This free wellness will assessment. If you go to celestetherapist.com, you can find it. All I do is kind of break down these different areas where we find ourselves struggling and kind of help you understand how you can work on it. Another thing that I created is learn how to podcast. So I learned how to podcast. I read a book and then I just started doing it. And it's actually pretty simple. So I just pretty much broke the steps down. I have a free download checklist if you're somebody that really wants to kind of start podcasting. I really break it down on how you can do it. One of the things that people said to me was like, oh, everybody has a podcast. And I think about like, there's always new shows starting. I've never heard nobody like a new show come out and someone says, why did they make a show? There's already shows out or there's already movies out. Everybody's different. So if it's something that you want to do, definitely like pursue your dreams. I think that's important. So I'm going to bring on my special guest and I'm going to have her introduce herself to you guys. I'm going to add her to the stream now. Hello.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, so I'm Amber Jackson. I'm the owner of the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop. I design and formulate my own loose leaf tea blends, and I host community and cultural events as well. I'm located in Providence, Rhode Island, but I'm from Chicago.
Nice to meet you. You definitely do not have a Providence, Rhode Island speech.
Not at all.
So you grew up in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to go to Rhode Island?
I moved for work, so I work at Brown full time.
Okay, so you came Chicago representing. You got another Chicago person in here. Chicago be deep. I swear, y'all be everywhere. Y'all be running out. Y'all do move around. So you was in Chicago, then you went to Rhode Island. So in Rhode Island, you started working at Brown full time, and then what was it like being in Rhode Island?
It was much whiter than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because me and my friends called it white ass New England before I moved here, so I had it in mind, and then I moved here. It's like, oh no, it's even less of us.
It's funny. I grew up in Boston. I had no idea that anytime I go to another state, people say like, oh, there's Black people that live in Boston because Rhode Island is right next to, not too far from Boston. So I'm pretty sure it's the same thing.
Overall it's different. It's a lot of Cape Verdeans here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Google Cape Verde because I'd never heard of it before. No one I knew have ever heard of Cape Verde before. And I'm like, what is that? And it's different here because they look like me. Their hair looks like me, every skin tone, but a lot of Cape Verdeans here do not claim Black at all. They will say my nationality, my ethnicity, my race is Cape Verdean. Like that's not how that works. Like your nationality. But no, it's very different here. 1 second. I'm in
Oh, the light, the timer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually in my food incubator right now, bagging teas, and so yeah, the one in the packaging area is timed.
So now you're there. There's not enough people that look like you,
Yeah.
and you're a tea lover, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I grew up drinking tea. So I'm like I said, I'm from Chicago, but my family's from the South, and so they were used to taking more the holistic way of healing. So if you had a headache or a stomach ache, you drank some tea and took a nap. And so that's the how I grew up. And then in college, I'm undergrad. I majored in nutrition. In grad school, I majored in food science, concentrating in product development. So all that kind of just came together for me.
What made you decide to major in food science? What made you called you to do that?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I loved cooking, and so initially I wanted to be a chef. And I think I was like 10 or 11, somewhere around there. And someone told me how competitive culinary arts positions were at that time. And I was like, oh, yeah, I need a job. That's the thing, that you get a job. And so I used to love watching Food Network. And one show I used to love was Alton Brown's Good Eats. And so that show is all about food science and food chemistry and engineering. So that's kind of found my way to that.
So you have like you like to develop things, and you like a holistic way of living as well.
I wouldn't say holistic. I like tea because I definitely like I do my I do my own thing. Like I eat all my salt, all my sugar, all my salted butter. So I'm not gonna sit here and like, oh, no, absolutely not. I am a Midwest girl. I'm a meat, potatoes, fried chicken kind of girl. That is me. So I wouldn't say holistic, but I know um, how to move accordingly. So I know when too much is too much.
Okay.
I grew up drinking tea, something I really enjoyed having. Um, I'm conscious of the nutritious part because like I said, my background's in nutrition, so I'm conscious of it. However, I like food.
Well, tell people, for people that may not be familiar with like tea, tell people like how tea can benefit people, because I don't know if people really understand that.
Yeah, so actually what I make is technically called tisanes, which is herbal blends.
Say that one more time.
Tisanes.
Tisane.
Yeah, and so tea itself is actual tea leaf. So all teas, whether it's black, white, green, oolong, it all comes from the same leaf. Tisanes are when you blend it with herbs or flowers, spices, whatever else. That's an herbal blend. So I technically make herbal blends, but it's herbal tea. So,
Okay.
like some people may want just green tea or just matcha. That's not what I do. So I only do blends.
Okay, and then what do these blends consist of? Like, do they have a purpose?
Yeah.
Kind of like when I think about weed and dispensaries and how they do these different strands. Is it the same thing for tea?
Yeah. So I have about 10 different blends now. So I have some where they all have great antioxidant properties, and you have some like my blend called Glow is made with turmeric, ginger, lemon peel, and black pepper. And I made that one because turmeric has great anti-inflammatory properties, but it's not really absorbed by the body. So you have to add either black pepper or some kind of fat to it to increase absorption. But I chose black pepper because it's the actual dry blend. And so with that, you get the cognitive health, lung health, anti-inflammatory properties, along with the antioxidants. So they all have different properties that have to benefit your health. But yeah, they all have different health benefits.
How did you learn about all this stuff? All this stuff was in school, or just kind of school and growing up in the family that kind of had tea?
No, mainly school.
Okay. Now, so you love tea. Do you have a long blend with? I don't know how to pronounce that. What does that say?
Right. No. So I have mostly for I don't have one specifically for different parts of the body, because when you make certain health claims, you have to pass it through FDA.
Oh.
So I don't do that because it's a very long process. I'm only 1 year into business, and I also fund by myself. So that process takes an extremely long time and a whole lot of money.
Yeah. What can you tell me what that says though? What is it?
Mullane.
Yeah.
Another company. So I personally like it's a bioactive property. Like I said, the turmeric blend, so Glow would be a great one for that, for clearing your lungs and cleaning your lungs as well. Trying to think of other ones I have.
Oh no, that's fine. I just wasn't sure. So you sell, yeah. So Todd, yes, she sells the blends. Oh, we haven't gotten to that part. That's why you're confused. Okay. So now you're in Rhode Island. You love teas. There's not enough culture, people that look like you. What made you kind of branch out and start the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop?
I've always been a very audacious person, so I never want to look for someone to create what I want. So I just went and did it myself.
Dang, all right now.
Especially coming from Chicago, like the Urban League is extremely active, and then Young Black Professionals is a subgroup of the Urban League. I went to college in the South, so both groups were actually extremely active there too. But Rhode Island, they don't have it here, which is something I'd never seen before. So I myself and like my other friends are also transplants here that work at Brown or JWU or whatever. We're like the same thing. Like we moved here, we live for Urban League. There is no Urban League here. I believe they discontinued it a few years ago. And so, so my goal was to use my business to create those spaces and curate the conversations that I wanted. And yes, I made a year April 11th.
Wait, is this just you just started this last year?
Mm-hmm.
What was when so you said you always been the type of person to create your own. So when you decided you was going to do it, did you feel like a little nervous about it because you was kind of branching out, or what was your thought process?
No, not really nervous. For me, it was more so this has to work. Especially because, as like I said, I fund this myself. So applying for grants is hard, especially now because of COVID. Everyone's applying for grants. Yeah. I never took out a loan because I didn't want to start off my business by owing someone. Mm-hmm. It would have been a much easier, but it's like that's a lot of pressure for someone that doesn't have a business background, that's just starting out. So for me, it's like, okay, I wrote everything out. I made sure my number one thing at the time starting was to make sure that I had a solid foundation. So I hired a lawyer to do it because I was busy at work and I knew it was going to mess it up. So I hired a lawyer to do a package for me. So they did my LLC and my trademark. So my name actually just got approved Christmas Eve of 2019. So the name, the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop, federally and legally belongs to me.
Nice.
Making sure I register with the Department of Taxation and things like that. So for me, it was all about longevity and not just quick money or just send this up for right now. So this is something that I want to establish off the bat. Mm-hmm. And so that was the biggest thing for me. Then going forward from that was, okay, we're going to just try this out a little bit, taking my time. I made sure I have a lot of friends here that own businesses as well. Mm-hmm. And so just sitting and asking them, okay, what did you learn? What's mistakes that you made? And really just listening to them and taking that all in. Because it's like, okay, if I can learn from your mistakes, I don't have to do that.
That's so smart. And you put yourself out there. I think one thing that people do is they recreate the wheel when they don't always have to. Yeah. And they struggle with like asking questions or asking for support, but it doesn't sound like that was part of your struggle.
No, if I need help, I'm going to ask. And a lot of things I know I have to like figure out for myself. And I think that's one thing about Providence I genuinely like. This is a great place to start a business because especially a food business, because everyone is so helpful here. They're like, if you need anything, just ask. Or you need help with this, you want to collaborate. Like everyone is extremely helpful, compared to like if I was at home in Chicago where everyone's gunning for a James Beard Award. It's like, all right, I'll give you one. If that, after that, you're on your own. But it's still competitive here, but everyone is extremely helpful.
Oh, so that's good. So now you hired a lawyer, you got all the legalities done. Mm-hmm. And then like what kind of other things did you have to do to kind of get to that point where you felt like confident?
Especially as a food business, you see a lot of people, they work out of their homes and things like so, like on Facebook, nothing wrong with that. But having that legitimacy was extremely important to me. So even doing my business license and my permits through the Department of Health, I work out of a food incubator, like I said, right now, because legally I am not allowed to do so at home, even though all I need is a bowl and a counter.
Wait, legally you're not able to work out of your home?
No. So FDA rules you have to be in a approved location to do this. And so legally I have to be in an approved facility to actually, if I'm going to be selling a product. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, so you're doing everything by the book.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was that? Did you have to do a lot of studying or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
not at all. So they, like I said, I work at a Hope and Maine in Warren, Rhode Island, and so everything's kind of like in house. So
Yeah.
when I went to the Department of Health, I had my showed them my file, and they're like, "Oh, we have a Hope and Maine are here." So they have a guy that works specifically with people that work out of Hope and Maine. So he just like, okay, I don't have to approve the facility because you work at a Hope and Maine. So everything's just checkbox, checkbox, checkbox. Don't do this. Ask questions if you have questions about this. And so I already had like a person specifically that was there to work with me because I work out of Hope and Maine. Even doing the like Safe Serve program, they do it here, Hope and Maine as well.
Okay.
It's pricey,
Uh-huh.
but to do things like on like directly by the book is extremely expensive. Um,
I know. So Ty, I'm so, Ty. You see my face. So for people listening, one of the listeners says, as a business owner myself, I'm so impressed with you. You are clearly very smart. I am. I'm impressed because you seem very logical. Like you have like you kind of just are thinking really clear about like what needs to
yeah,
happen. You kind of execute.
I think, like I said, for me, the biggest thing was not just to provide these services in this product, but also the name of my game was longevity. Like this is something, well, even especially in a lot of Black families, like we don't have that generational wealth that's never been there before.
Yeah.
And so I have the opportunity to do that for mine and myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it was just okay to even establish that financial independence as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not even 30 yet, but I wanted to do that before I got to that point. And even for me, like that's not really a milestone for me. I think it's a tangible goal.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's just being realistic and taking my time with those things. I do have a therapist, so I worked a lot of my anxiety with her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think for me, it's just things have to make sense and they have to be done right, especially when my name is on it. Me personally, like I don't put out bullshit. My name is on it. It's going to be done right. I rather hold it and wait until it's right, until it's like to my level of what I see is correct, not even as close to perfect as possible. I will hold it and wait until it's there. I'm not putting out anything, everything.
Oh, so you put in a lot of work. For people that are listening to this, one thing I want you to take away from what Amber's story is that try not to take any shortcuts. You keep saying longevity, and I'm every time you say that, I get it. You're basically saying like, you know what, this is going to be a lot of work. Maybe investing a little bit more money, doing it the right way, but I want to be sustainable.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes we want to rush the process because we could be so excited or we want it right now, but you was fine. Like I couldn't get it right now. You were gonna wait and do everything literally by the book so that you can't get shut down, which is so dope.
Yeah, like I said, it is somewhat of a privileged standpoint as well because it is expensive. Like I said, for me, and me being in business, I released my website April 11th of 2019, but this was an idea October of 2018. So even then, it was maybe like 5 months before I started my business. So there was not this long period of time I was doing all these things. Like, no, it was a year that I started my
Mm-hmm.
business, and that's it. Because even the 5 months before I launched my website, it was just handling all the legalities and the permits and licenses and things like that. But there are some people that's like, you know what, I don't have this money, and that's understandable. But even being realistic, you know, at least in Rhode Island, an LLC is $110.
Right.
Your Department of Taxation registration is $35. It's $145. But we spend more than that on clothes and shoes, groceries. So being realistic, if you want to, even just that small bit of legitimacy, do that. And then next month, you know, I think my peddler's license and my food business license were individual. I think is like $90 each. I think
Mm-hmm.
do that next month. So it's very doable. And I think people have this unrealistic idea of what it costs to start a business. I had one girl, she was like, oh, I thought it cost like $10,000. I'm like, $10,000, $145.
Ah.
But that's a lot of, you know, when it comes to a lot of minorities, specifically Black owned businesses, we aren't knowledgeable of these things because a lot of people around us, they've never had a business. We don't own anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big issue. And so we over exaggerate these ideas of owning a business because at that, for a lot of people, like because we haven't seen it ourselves, it seems Dang it, this light.
You was getting to the juicy part.
There you go. All right. I'll just throw something next time. But yeah, it feels success as a business owner seems untangible.
Yeah.
It seems unrealistic because we haven't seen someone that looks like us in that position. That's why representation is so important as well. But yeah, I think it just comes down to sharing that knowledge, being willing to share that knowledge, because you do have some people that's just like, well, I made it, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I strongly believe in lifting as you rise, because there's a lot of great people out here, great products, great services that just don't know how.
Yeah,
Like I'm learning. Like I'm in the process of doing my taxes right now, and I held up to the last minute because I'm like, taxes scare me. I don't know what I'm doing. And so it's just like, okay, it's July 15th creeping up on me. So I'm just like, okay, I got to get this done at some point. Especially my first time doing it as a business owner. Even my personal tax, I use TurboTax for free. I don't know this. But yeah, it's just a lot of things. It's just for a lot of new business owners, it's a scary. It is scary. I'm not gonna lie, it is scary. Starting off, it is somewhat expensive, and also even like if I went down my expenses list, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Even my business insurance, like that too. Get your business insurance. Because if anything happens, I know like a lot of these facilities, even working at Hope and May, I have to have business insurance, and I have to be insured for at least $2 million. And so I think mine is $640 a year.
Oh wow.
But as a food business, of course, you absolutely want to have insurance, because if something happens, someone gets sick, they're not suing you, they're suing your business.
Yep.
It's just being smart. That in itself, just be smart.
Yes, I like that. No, that's good. So April has been a year, right? You said April was a year.
Yeah.
How has the business been for you since you launched? You're on social media, you got your website. Mm-hmm. How has it been overall?
It was a little bit slower at first, just trying to introduce myself and like what my products are, especially being in New England, because I learned that New England is a coffee and liquor region. But once people tasted my product, they loved it. And so that in itself gave me that bit of confidence and like validation that I needed. Yeah, and so then I did like farmers markets here, Hope and Maine, over the summer. I got invited to do the Providence Journal Critics' Choice Award, and my iced tea was a hit there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been extremely, it's gone well. Yeah. And it's only been a year, and especially with like the current events and recent events with the racial injustice movements and Black Lives Matter movement, there's been a swift movement of support for Black-owned businesses. And so I just sold out twice in 1 month.
That's so amazing. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. So that's why I'm here now. I got to get all this stuff out, hopefully by tomorrow or sometime. But yeah, so.
Just tell them you had to do a podcast to talk about it. No, this is awesome. Like, I'm so excited for you and everything that's happening. It sounds like you are doing really well. And you're managing things well. How is it being a minority first generation business owner? Mm-hmm. How does that feel for you?
It's exciting. Like, I'm doing something that no one in my family has done before, at least that I know of. But it's exciting.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that. Well, I'm grateful for you for coming on. What if people wanted to order your tea? What's the process like for them?
Yeah. So my website is www.theblackleaftea.com. Right now shipping is a little slow right now due to COVID and like high demand. So right now I'm shipping out between 7 and 10 business days. Mm-hmm. I am currently sold out, but I am doing a partial restock this Friday and a full restock the Friday after. So products will be there soon. Because I only operate by myself, so every tidbit of this is just on me.
That's the way it works when we start out, Amber.
I'm tired. My voice is not normally this hoarse. Like, I'm tired. But yeah, so products right now is just loose leaf tea. So I have some infusers online you can purchase. I'm looking to hopefully add in like teapots and teacups and t-shirts and stuff soon. Um, but yeah, I also have a GoFundMe up so I can actually add these things to my website. But people are like, you can add more. Like, with what? These things cost money, okay? The GoFundMe is there. I thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm trying. Give me a minute. Yeah, so I think it's funny because a lot of people don't realize. I don't know if it's because of my branding, but a lot of people don't realize I've been in business for only a year. Like it's very much a
I
baby.
don't. I would not have known it was only a year. So Amber was one of the sponsors for my. I had hired an event coordinator for my online party, and she found Amber and her tea company. And I would not have known it was a year in. Like that's crazy. I mean, like good crazy. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Just had one person DM me, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm surprised with me. As long as you've been in business, you haven't added." To I'm like, I just made it. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "No, you're fine." It's just like it's a compliment to me because, like, I guess like my branding or my social media presence. So I'm like, no, it's still very much a baby, and I like I said, I fund out of my own pocket. So that's the thing about doing it that way is even now it's like it's you get a lot of money, but it's a constant recycle of money where okay, great, I made $2,000 in one day. I have to buy more ingredients, more packaging, more labels. Working here is $30 an hour. I have to pay for that. So it's going well. And I'm starting to see actual profit now, which is great for only a year in. But it's like, okay, I need y'all to just be patient with me. It's just
I'm gonna be patient, Amber. When I order my tea, I'm gonna be patient. I promise. Well, I have another question before you go.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated? Because you seem like you got your eye on the prize, but I've been in business, but not like I think what you're doing is a lot harder than what I've had to do because I went through insurance and people use the insurance to pay, so I've seen profit when I started. But how do you stay motivated with doing it by yourself?
I try to highlight the highs of what I'm doing because it's just me. I do get burned out sometimes. I'm tired a lot, but it's okay. Grasping to the potential of what this could be. It keeps me going a lot of times. But yeah, just keeping a solid group of people around me is very helpful as well. Because I definitely think if you have the wrong people around you, like you're already drained from your business, you don't need to be drained by your environment either. That's too much. Yeah, I think for me, and also like learning, I've learned. I don't say I have to learn because I'm a whole pillow princess. If I need to rest, I will rest. I'm a proud pillow princess, and if I need to sleep, I will. But yeah, just consciously taking care of myself when I recognize that I need to give myself a little bit of extra TLC. But yeah, also just like, well, just seeing recognizing how well it's gone so far, writing down like things I want for the future and trying to like manifest that. But yeah, I think right now it's just like, you just have to really focus on the highlights when you can.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect. I love it. So, one of the things about the podcast is like I'm hoping that people can get inspired, and I think that you and your story is so inspiring. I'm just in awe by you.
Thank you.
Who owns her? Okay, she is wonderful. Okay. So thank you so much. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before you go?
Not really. Just thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. You're amazing. It's perfect. You are so in alignment with the message that I'm trying to send to people. Like if you look at Amber's brand, when you go visit her social media site, for people listening, you can find the link in the show notes. But when you look at her brand and feel like, oh my gosh, I wish I was like that. Like, how is she able to do that? And knowing that she started on her own. And
it's always funny to me too. It's like, oh, I love your brand. I'm like, I just be posting the stuff on Instagram. Y'all just happen to like it. Like, I don't have a branded plan at all whatsoever. He's like, I love your brand. I'm like, okay, girl. But I've done no kind of like planning for a brand. And that's one thing I do want to focus on doing actually more intentionally is having to actually like branding and marketing plan. But
Mhm.
you know, I mean, I think honestly, people are kind of scared to just dive in. That's exactly what it is. That's what I did. Just
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You literally just kind of dived in and did your research, and that's what you got to do. But the discouragement, you may feel discouraged because you're stepping on new territory. I think anytime you go to different levels. If the reality is that there's going to be fear associated with it. But I just love how you have kept going, and congrats on selling out twice.
thank you.
That's awesome. And finally seeing some like profit. That's awesome. So I'm going to support you. I'm going to always support you. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she's so sweet. So, so that's the podcast. Let me get my face back up. I'm grateful to her for coming on. If you want to order the tea or support her GoFundMe, theblackleaftea.com, you can where she will have all the information there. You follow her Instagram. She's amazing. And I thank you guys for listening. So we have 2 more episodes, and then we're going to be done for the summer. I'll be back in September. So we have an episode tomorrow and an episode Wednesday, and then I'll be gone. But I won't be gone. Like if you follow me on social media, you'll still be able to find me. But I won't be putting out any new content, but I will be highlighting old content that is always relevant, because it's all about empowering yourself and making sure that you don't get stuck in the way that you're thinking. I want people to like keep going. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Life that I care about and love, but wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity, and make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit, and you are now